All right, chat. So this is a video by Lazy Peon. He recently put it out. MMO players are sick and tired, basically alluding to players playing retro MMORPGs, older MMORPGs, and stuff like that. So let's give it a watch. I didn't watch it yet, so.
As someone who's been covering the MMORPG genre on YouTube for the past 10 years, I've noticed that in recent years, the MMO community's attitude to new announcements, upcoming games, and the genre as a whole has certainly shifted from being somewhat optimistic to more pessimistic.
Ain't that the truth? After all the disappointments, back-to-back disappointments, not a single one of them hit a home run. All of them just flopped eventually. Throne of Liberty was fun though. I had fun with it. I know it died out, you know, its player base is a lot smaller than it used to be. So be it. Let them merge, let them do whatever with the servers. But there's design issues there, and of course they have a new MMORPG coming up soon. That's Aeon 2. But it's just back-to-back disappointments. And I was talking about this earlier in the stream with like the advent of mobile MMORPGs and stuff, and that how companies shifted to that as a easy money for like 1/10 of the effort for many multiples of the profit. It's a lot easier to make a mobile game, and you know that was one factor that companies stop investing that much time and resources into MMORPGs, improving existing MMORPGs, growing it, slowly making it a better game and getting more people to play it. That takes a lot of time and effort, so they take the easy way out or something. But yeah, sentiment is down, man. We're upset. I mean, so many flops back to back. We get so excited. Remember Chrono Odyssey? We were so hyped for that because the trailers looked so cool. It had all that dark aesthetic to it. Very unique from what we heard. But then when we got in and found out that it was a copy of New World, of all the games you could copy, you choose New World?
And who can blame them? I've noticed it especially in myself. A couple of years ago, whenever a new MMO was announced, I was excited to make content and dive into the details for basically every upcoming game in the genre. Nowadays though, I'm less quick to even cover newly announced upcoming releases.
You know, the reason is he's been playing RuneScape like a Giga Chad for the past year. I saw his other video. He's been deep in RuneScape, man. The one solid rock of an MMORPG over the years.
I know that there's a high chance they either won't make it to a full release, or they'll struggle to maintain a player base for longer than 1 year. In this video, I'm going to talk about why MMO players are growing sick and tired of the genre, as well as discuss if things will change anytime soon. But first, support the content by listening to today's sponsor.
So I was completely off about what he was going to talk about in this video, but that's okay. That's proof that I didn't pre-watch this video, okay? So many flops over the years. And I don't think that a game needs to be a smack dab hit right off the bat. There are many great games that took time for them to cook. Final Fantasy XIV's first release, it sucked. It wasn't until Realm Reborn they put in time to improve the game and cultivate it into something much more. Even Realm Reborn, I didn't like it that much. I hated the story then. I hated all the characters. But by the time I got into Shadowbringers, they were my homies. By the time we got into Endwalker, I loved each and every one of them. It took time for that game to get to that point. It took time for Guild Wars 2 to get to Path of Fire. Guild Wars 2 on the release, it wasn't a great game. I mean, like, it was fun, but a lot of people quit pretty quick because it wasn't at a good stage. I mean, they were still figuring shit out. They constantly changed the PvP reward system and stuff, I remembered. And it's like, they were always trying to mix and match and do things where they were trying to figure it out, and they did it eventually. Heart of Thorn got better. Path of Fire, they really popped off. They cultivated their player base, and their player base supported the game as well. Like, they respected the game. I never seen a game which had that kind of following that they were actively in comment sections on YouTube videos saying, this is a good game, it's worth playing, guys. Ask a BDO player, yo bro, you think it's a good time for me to play BDO? Is it a good game? No, it's dead. That's basically what we get. Right? It takes time. Even if it flops on release, work on it, improve it, make a good game, players will come.
Watcher of Realms, the next-gen fantasy RPG that's redefining strategic combat.
Oh, hold on, are we on the ad part? I totally forgot where we left off. Hold on.
Discuss if things will change anytime soon. But first, support the content by listening to today's sponsor.
Let's go.
Watcher of Realms, the next-gen fantasy RPG that's redefining strategic combat on both PC and mobile.
I like games which are cross-platform. I'll say this. Mobile games generally come with the same monetization problems. Very gacha, very pay-to-win, autoplay, and things like that, which turn people away from MMORPGs. But Tower of Fantasy, I had fun. I like that I could play on the PC and on the phone. RuneScape, I really appreciate I can play on the phone. I think it should be a norm. Albion as well. I played arenas on Albion. It was fine. I mean, I didn't feel like I was at too much of a disadvantage playing on my phone. I mean, sure, I wasn't like top tier there, but I was having fun. Like cross platforms, I'm a big fan of. It's the monetization. It's always the monetization that screws us over.
This game features over 200 heroes across 10 factions, endless PvE content, epic raid bosses, and even intense GVG battles. On top of that, the stunning CG, top-notch audio-visual effects, and highly detailed character designs are seconds to none.
Nice.
They even included user-friendly features like background auto fights, quick
This reminds me of like Raid. Is this by the same people or something? I don't know.
startup, and custom
they all
gear
look the same to
enhancement
me.
tools to make it easy for new players to jump in and catch up quickly. And for their second anniversary, they're introducing a game-changing new class, the Tactician. These heroes add an entirely new layer of strategy to battles. Their ultimates let you reposition units in real time, allowing for offensive pushes, defensive blocks, or even intercepting deadly blows.
Nice.
This grid-based displacement mechanic truly blends offense and defense, giving you unprecedented control and tactical flexibility. We're also getting new knight heroes, Moradin and Valara, who belong to the new Tactician class and bring unique battle mechanics and bond skills, perfect for buffing allies, reducing enemy defenses, and knocking foes back. And it's not just new heroes.
Savior,
the
is that
second
you?
Anniversary celebration is absolutely stacked with free rewards. Just by logging in daily and participating in events, you can earn an incredible 119 summons for free. Plus, you'll get the legendary hero Astriel, new skins, emotes, a summoning stone skin, an avatar, a legendary skill crystal, and so much more. There's also a lot of fun mini games like Bingo and the Abyssal Derby you can participate in to earn even more rewards. It's true.
Yo, this guy reminds me of like Necros and Guild Wars 2. Like in Heart of Thorns, you got the Reaper specialization, which allowed you to use great swords. I personally liked base Necro and Scourge. Bro, we need a Necromancer in Black Desert. Like, come on. We even got a K-pop cowgirl, like, of all things. Actually, that's not too surprising. It is PA, of course, but
Really the best time to dive into Watcher of Realms, so click the link in the description or scan that QR code to download Watcher of Realms for free on PC, Android, and iOS, and start your legendary journey today. So, the biggest reason why I think MMO players have a less positive attitude to the genre nowadays than say 10 years ago is that in the past 8 years, not a single new MMO release has managed to break into the top 5 most played.
pause. Arcade. Is this Arcade Unchained last 8 years? That was Unchained, right? Unchained. No, Unchained was 2019. All right, whatever. Bless was a fucking meme. Okay. Throne Liberty, New World, Eternum. I never got into New World after the initial stages. I tried multiple times. I just couldn't. It's just not my type of game. Throne Liberty, I was extremely deep into. I was in Ethereum, the strongest guild ever. I even grinded my ass to a arc boss weapon. Loved that game, but the systems were the problem. I think the game was a very polished game, it was nice, but systems were not adequate for the Western audience, at least. I don't know how it's doing in Korea. Bless is a game that got re-released so many times. There was Bless, and then there was a console version, and then they ported that back to the PC or something like that. Yeah, it was disappointments. Absolutely.
Played games in the genre and stay there for longer than a few months. The top 10 most popular MMOs are WoW, OSRS, Final Fantasy XIV, Black Desert Online, Albion Online, Guild Wars.
Hey, that's us, boys. That's us. He got us in there. Let's go.
So EVE Online, MapleStory, and RuneScape 3. Most of these
Yeah.
MMOs are really old. Albion Online and BDO are the newest to secure spots in the top 10.
But Albion, I remember I bought like early access because I thought it was cool that I'd be able to play on my phone as well as on PC. So I bought the early access back in like 2014 or something like that. I'd say it's pretty old. I wouldn't say it's new in that sense, but I guess it makes sense what he's saying. He's saying these are persistent games that succeeded in staying alive compared to those other games that just flop and die.
With Albion releasing in 2017 and BDO releasing in Korea.
Oh, the full release was 2017 for Albion. Okay. So it was in beta for a long time. I did have the early access.
Back in 2014. MMOs are games that take a lot of investment.
Hold on. BDO released in 2016, then came Steam in 2017, right?
Albion Online and BDO are the newest to secure spots in the top 10, with Albion releasing in 2017 and BDO releasing in Korea back in 2014.
Okay, that was just a Steam picture. That's what I was thinking. Okay.
MMOs are games that take a lot of investment, so whenever a new MMO
Hey, Calpheon.
does come out these days, in the back of your mind you're thinking, there's a 99% chance that 1 to 2 years from now this game will be dead. which is a really crappy feeling to have. We've seen this with games such as Throne and Liberty, New World, Core Punk, PAX Day.
I tried Core Punk. I couldn't get into it. It's still in development. I don't think we can call out Core Punk, but the thing is, compared to PAX Day, Core Punk is way more fleshed out. It's a legit game being made and it has like meat behind it. There's meat on the bone there. Whereas PAX Day, remember when we played it? It was fun building up our building, but that was about it. The combat was dog. It was so bad.
Arcade Unchained, Bless Unleashed, Bless Online, Brighter Shores, and many, many more. I guess this is another reason why now...
I think Brighter Shores will persist. Brighter Shores isn't marketed as a main game, I'd say. I think it can be marketed as a side game. It's not something that you have to actively play, you know, in front of your PC. Like, it's something you can play on a side, you know, on the side monitor.
Rather invest times into the older games in the genre rather than play the newer stuff. Odds are WoW, Final Fantasy XIV, and OSRS will still be here 5 to 10 years from now.
RuneScape is going to be here for 20 years. Like, 20 years down the line, it's still going to be here. One of the beautiful things about RuneScape is that it's timeless. It achieved the timeless status. WoW's achieved the timeless status. What timeless is that, yes, it doesn't look as good as the next gen MMORPGs, like the latest games. That's okay. We don't care if it doesn't look good. Old school RuneScape, it looks perfect the way it is. And a lot of players believe that and love that. Even the UI, even the mechanisms where it's just clicking on the screen. But despite it just being clicking, there's an immensely high skill cap to the game. That's what makes it beautiful. You know, it's a timeless game.
The moment I started to enjoy the genre again was when I decided to just commit to the older games and stop looking for the next big thing.
Damn right.
If a big new MMO comes out and it's a lot of fun, then great. If not, no worries. I'll be enjoying myself with old school RuneScape regardless.
Always.
Another big reason why people are sick and tired of new MMOs is that they've seemingly hit a point where they objectively haven't massively improved or innovated in the past 10 years. When it comes to action combat, the gold standard is still Black Desert Online, a game that...
You know, I don't really want a new MMORPG to, like, innovate and do something crazy different. Like, I want there to be a few different things, new experiences, but I'm okay with, you know, with decent combat. I'm okay with decent graphics. I'm okay with the same old Holy Trinity. I love Holy Trinity, man. I love games with classes. I don't want them to come up with this whole new intricate way for classes to be done. It's not, oh, you get these different trees and you can pick and choose skill. No, just give me a class, bro. Just make it fun. Having something new doesn't mean it's going to be fun. Having something old doesn't mean it's not going to be fun.
That took 4 to 5 years to develop and released in 2014. No other MMO has action combat anywhere near the level of BDO. For tab targets,
we're getting massive W's in this video, guys. Usually we're the punching bag. I'm loving this.
World of Warcraft is still the gold standard in terms of fluidity and responsiveness. We frequently get modern MMOs releasing nowadays with worse combat than what existed 10 to 20 years ago, and it's hard to wrap your head around why. It feels like we're going backwards.
Chrono Odyssey.
Games like Bitcraft, PAX Day, Quinfall, Embers of Drift,
say Chrono Odyssey,
and Core Punk all have...
Hey, come on, let them cook. I mean, you can't compare Core Punk to League. There's no other MMORPG top-down like this other than Albion.
Dog-tier combat that makes you question how they...
Okay, Core Punk wasn't that bad. I played it like 6 months ago. It wasn't that bad.
Even released in that state. Even Korean MMOs in recent years seem to have forgotten how to design good combat. Korean devs used to be masters of creating the best action combat in the genre, but recently we've had Throne and Liberty, a game heavily criticized for being clunky as hell.
To be fair, when Tier 2 came out, they did a lot of combat updates and it felt a lot better. It's still a tab target MMORPG. I always said this. People say it has an action combat mode. I'm like, yes, but it's still a tab target MMORPG even in the action combat mode. But it did get better.
To be fair, the gameplay got a bit better with a few updates, but it's still nowhere near the level of World of Warcraft. Chrono Odyssey is another one. Recently did a beta test. Combat wasn't great. People weren't impressed.
Bro, that's an understatement. It was dog shit. It wasn't until I beat the first boss after I figured out I used my attack and then I canceled that animation of a dodge, and it was such a clunky looking thing I had to do in order to beat that boss. I'm like, it was so bad. It was so bad.
Needs a lot of work to even be passable. And just take a look at the latest Korean slop MMO to be announced at G-Star called Architect. Clearly mobile, PC, console, cross-platform based on the user interface, every ability, heavy static animation locks, clunky movement, janky animations. You can tell just by...
You can make a game look like this and actually function and play, and you make it crap? Why?
Every ability, heavy static animation locks, clunky movement, janky animations.
That is one hell of an
You can tell
anteater.
just by looking at it that the gameplay is complete arse. Bellatorus, another upcoming Korean MMO. Granted, it looks a bit better than Architect, but still, it really doesn't...
See, I don't believe these videos anymore. Because remember Chrono Odyssey, they gave us amazing looking trailers and stuff. So when we were going into that beta, we thought that's what we were getting. And then that wasn't what we got. And then, who's that guy? The CEO or someone? He tweets out, oh, there's a later build, which is a lot better. And it's like, why didn't you give us that build? Huh? Why are you making us test the shit? Give us the latest one. Give us the good one.
Look that great, does it? The dodges especially just look atrocious. This is what I mean about upcoming MMOs seemingly not progressing or straight up going backwards compared to what was releasing a decade.
You know, that is true, but it's not like they're sharing their systems, right? Like their code and whatnot. They have to redevelop their own stuff. I guess you could say they got worse at developing these, or the current tools aren't suited for MMOs versus like survival games and whatnot. Who knows?
To go. As someone who reviews MMOs, it feels like during my pros and cons sections, it's very rare that I'll list gameplay and combat as a pro for modern MMO releases. I think Ashes of Creation is probably the only recent exception here, as that does feel like an evolution to the combat in Guild Wars 2.
Ashes has improved their combat. I've been meaning to check it out. I just don't want to pay a lot of money for the beta. So I'm like, we'll wait. That's fine. But they did improve their combat. I remember in the beginning it was very static. It was very root motion oriented. And then they did change it to a lot more split body. So root motion, if you hit the skill, your character goes into a full body animation where it goes a certain distance forward based on the preset, predetermined distance in the skill by the root motion. Split body, you can, your bottom half of the body, your legs are moving independently by your WASD while your skills are being shot by the upper half. So it's like WoW, basically. You can run around zigzag while hitting your rotation and stuff for most of the skills.
If you look at other gaming genres, Souls-likes, survival, turn-based RPGs, anime gacha games, ARPGs, and FPS, these genres have seen huge...
I kind of like the anime gacha games. I like to go in and play free-to-play for a few days and then leave. They're kind of fun. I haven't played the horse girl simulator one. I know a few people in my guild were playing it. I played the horse girl game. She knew. It's called Usume Ayaya.
Huge innovations and improvements over the past decade in ways that the MMO genre has not. The difference between games released 10 years ago for these genres compared to now is night and day. Across the board, you've got better graphics, smoother gameplay, more spectacle, new types of content, new progression systems, better animations, and new innovative systems.
That's true. It is a lot easier to make one of these games compared to an MMORPG. It's just such a huge investment to make an MMO. It takes so long. So many things you have to build.
These respective genres has fluctuated much more than the top 10 games in the MMO genre. I actually think there's multiple reasons why the MMO genre hasn't really progressed as much as other gaming genres though. Just to name a few, you've got the rise of mobile gaming in the mid-2010s. I think this set the MMO genre
Yep. We were talking about it earlier.
Back heavily. Developers saw that mobile games had the potential to make infinitely more money than PC games for a fraction of the development cost.
There we go. There it is. Man, you know one thing that I wish took off? VR games. That's like dead in the water now. It's so disappointing. Like 8 years ago, I thought, just 10 years ago, we barely got smartphones and look at where we are. I can't wait for 8 years from now. We're going to be all gaming in VR. How wrong I was. So disappointing.
Result, many of the top MMO developers shifted their focus to mobile games or mobile PC console crossplay, which inevitably results in a worse gameplay experience as you've then got to design a game.
I got a serious video coming out this week where, in 3 days, my 30 days in a mobile game with autoplay, pay to win, and all that stuff is coming to an end. I got a serious video. There's a lot of in-depth things we need to talk about, so don't miss that.
Game to be playable with mobile screen size restrictions and limited inputs. The success of the free-to-play, pay-to-win and pay-for-convenience business models, starting all the way back in MapleStory, has caused more
Yo. These guys are the ones who started the gacha thing. Like these are, this is patient zero right here. These fuckers are the ones who started out the whole gacha system.
more and more developers to design games in a way that they'd create problems to then
Exactly,
sell
she knew.
solutions on the cash shop.
We're vibing,
I
bro.
believe that the popularity of transmog systems turned out to be a bad thing for the genre as a whole, as for most games it results in a diminished sense of visual progression during leveling.
That is so true. Because, like, I was playing Terra, right? I love seeing Terra Classic Private Server. I love seeing, like, every time I got a new piece of gear, I put it on. I look different. I like that. I miss those games where you're just wearing the gear and it's the gear. I mean, I get, like, WoW's transmog system wasn't bad. I mean, like, you have to go earn the gear that you're going to transmog into anyway. But then it's like, oh, wear this costume. Doesn't matter how your gear looks. We're not even going to make models for that. Such a cheesy and cheap way to do it.
As well as developers being incentivized to make the coolest outfits cash shop cosmetics rather than earned through in-game achievement. And finally, I believe...
Meanwhile, RuneScape, where's the coolest cape? That's right, Inferno Cape, Inferno Max Cape. Where you get it, you bust your ass off.
The MMO developers have for the most part taken the wrong design path for the past 20 years. The success of World of Warcraft resulted in many games taking the theme park MMO route, where MMOs are only as big as their latest expansion or content patch. Everyone's trying to catch up and get to the end game as soon as possible, and as soon as you stop playing for a few months, your progress and accomplishments have been invalidated by the new content. Previous best in slot raid gear is now equivalent to that of catch-up gear, obtainable in a few hours. The rising popularity of old school RuneScape in the past few years has shown me that the design...
Oh yeah, Knightson, like the Zuck Helm, the Blood Torva. Oh yeah, did you play Maple? Hell yeah, we were playing it last year.
Path MMO devs should have taken was that of the curated sandbox. Timeless design where new content only adds to the world and doesn't invalidate the previous content. In all fairness...
That is a difficult thing to do, and you know, maintaining the entire world. I mean, RuneScape is a small game, right? I mean, like, compared to like one of the modern games. In the beginning, they only had like a few team members and they did everything to support a massive world. You know, it's not easy.
Despite everything I've said in this video, making MMOs is clearly game development on extreme hard mode. These games take years to make, they cost the most to develop, and you're competing with older games that not only have 10 to 15 years of live content development over you, but they've also got heavily invested player bases that aren't going to be so quick to jump ship to another game due to years of time investment.
No, us in BDO, we're happy to jump to the next ship available. We're ready. We're waiting on the docks right now. Hell, even if there's just a log floating on the ground, I'll jump. We'll just come back home later. This is a little vacation. We'll come back eventually.
Huge MMOs from big studios often get cancelled. To name a few, we've recently had the untitled ZeniMax Online MMO get cancelled. Hytale was cancelled, even with the support of publisher Riot Games. EverQuest Next, the Marvel MMO.
Wait a minute, EverQuest Next? Wasn't that years ago? Like 2016, 2017? They basically said something along the lines like, we're not doing anything different. Wasn't even worth doing. That was a long time ago though. Well, that's fine.
The Riot MMO had to restart development. Blizzard's Project Titan was initially an MMO before being reworked into Overwatch. Then we've got countless Kickstarter.
Oh yeah, he's just naming some of the older ones. That's fair.
Like Chronicles of Valeria, Camelot Unchained, Pantheon Rise of the Fallen, and far too many to even mention that either ran out...
I've heard these names, Camelot Unchained and Pantheon, multiple times. I never once looked into them. Were they ever a thing, guys? I never tried them.
...of money, went through development hell, or are still in development. Is there any hope though? Are we ever likely to see MMOs become as popular as they were in the early to late 2000s? Honestly, I don't know. I'd always hoped that with technology improving, developers could...
I don't think so. So like the player base now for MMORPG, the average players, it's not kids, it's adults. It's us folks with responsibilities. We have less time, we have less interest. I mean, we'd love to go back to the glory days, you know, staying up all night raiding with the boys every day, but you know, times have changed, so I don't think it'll ever be. But I think there will be more MMOs that will continuously come out, and I'm sure some of them will stick eventually. But right now, I'm not really holding my breath. I'm just hoping like the old ones just continue to stay alive, and I'd be happy with that because I made my peace with the new ones. I am looking forward to like ArenaNet doing Guild Wars 3. If they can do that, well, I mean, like if they take everything they learned with Guild Wars 2 and just put it on steroids, I mean, they're someone I could trust. You know,
so that MMOs could be developed in a quicker time frame, but I'm not too sure if that's the case because I'm not a developer. At this point, I'm aware that most of you watching this video are probably in your late 20s to early 40s. We're getting old, and a lot of us just want something to relax with after work and get that good brain feeling from seeing the number go up. You can still do that with the old MMOs, OSRS, Ultima Online Outlands, World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy XIV, Guild Wars 2, BDO. These are still fun games you can relax with. OSRS in particular is aging like a fine wine, and I've personally sank...
Dude, it's this fine wine which punches you in the teeth. It's hard, man. It's sweaty. But you'll love it. I love it. I'll max someday.
Over 2,000 hours into it on my Iron Man this past year alone. In Buddhism, the second noble truth is that suffering comes from desire. Gratitude is also one of the keys to happiness. So instead of constantly looking for the next big thing, perhaps it's best to accept what we have now and try to enjoy it for what it is. But that's it for this video. To be honest, I just wanted an excuse to rant and ramble about the state of the genre after playing a few of these newer MMOs that seem worse than stuff releasing in the early 2010s. If you made it to the end, I appreciate you for putting up with me today, and also let me know in the comments below if you've had the same feeling of confusion about how some of these newer MMOs are failing so hard. Social media on screen, help us out with a like for the algorithm if you enjoyed the vid. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Bro, I mean, we were vibing with this guy. We were on point with like a lot of the things we were talking about on the side. Lazy peon, goat. Here we go. Here's a link in the chat. If anyone wants to check him out, please do go drop him a like there, drop a comment, check it out on your own time as well. I know I was rambling a lot, but